Temu generously gave me $250 to spend on their app purchasing Dollhouse miniatures. You can download the Temu app through my link in the description to get 30% off your entire order for new users, or search code DKV7455 in the Temu search bar. I'll show you the 7.5 pounds of Dollhouse miniature furniture and accessories I bought, along with the price and 3 miniature kits. This is a very popular 1/24 scale imitation Harry Potter kit. It's $33 from Temu and $45 from Amazon. The kit comes with some tools and an LED light so it can be illuminated, some wire for making finicky things. The kit includes lots of beads and bits and bobs for making magic-themed minis. I'm making the Gryffindor common room in 1/12 scale, so I'll either steal these accessories or get an idea of things I can make. This piece is wrapped up separately, and I really just need to know what's inside of here. It is a hollow glass sphere, which I have to assume will either be a light fixture or a crystal ball. There's some flocking included, which is really encouraging because this stuff is like talent in a baggie and makes everything look better. The instructions are very clear and include color photos. The printouts are really high quality and even include branded things like this little Hogwarts crest. The best part is these are all stickers, so you don't need to cut everything out and glue it. If I do end up stealing all of these accessories and printies for the Gryffindor common room, I'll do something really cool with the original room box, like turn it into a sweet shop or haunted something or other, or whatever you guys think of. I'm including a screenshot of the title of each piece so you can easily search for them if you'd like something you see. This is a 2-tier wooden display shelf. I previously purchased a bunch of miniature mystery bags from Temu that were filled with baked goods. I plan to make a miniature bakery, so this would be a perfect display stand. I could even wrap them in plastic with the label like they're for sale. This would also be great for displaying towels and toiletries in a bathroom, miniature plants, or some dishes. I'm really excited about these tiny cake nozzles I ordered, and they come in a little plastic container for organization. That's cool. It doesn't come with a piping bag, so it would be interesting to figure out how to use these and if they actually work, but they have different tips. Since they come in their own case, the box isn't really necessary, and as a miniaturist, I cannot help but modify it and find a new use for it. To begin the transformation, I drew a square on the inside lid, used a craft knife and cutting mat to cut it out, and filled it with some trash plastic. I always keep a little stash of plastic from packaging to use in miniature for glass or acetate. Super glue can fog up the plastic, so I'm using white glue. I have a nice collection of vintage cakes, and I'm choosing this chocolate one for the contrast. I'm not trying to turn all of you into trash hoarders like myself, but you really should give things a second look before you throw them away. I plan to try to use these nozzles to make a miniature cake, but this is the only cake I've ever made, so maybe keep your expectations really low. This is an absolutely precious giraffe toy made from wood. I don't have a lot of baby items because I don't really have any baby dolls or even a dollhouse, but I really wanted to know if this looks as good as it does in the pictures online, and I would say it definitely does. The wheels are attached with tiny screws, so it doesn't roll, but you could actually remove them just by unscrewing them and add an axle across the bottom if you do want them to roll. If you do get this thing rolling, I think it would be cute to add a string to the front so you could turn it into a pull toy. Here is a Christmas trio, which I believe is made from porcelain. The painting on it is very neat and tidy, and the scarf wraps all the way around. These kind of look like reindeer to me. I'm just picturing this little mug filled with some hot cocoa and tiny fake marshmallows. This 3-tier stand is $2.50 on Temu, $4 on Amazon, and a freaking ridiculous $9 on Etsy. I may make a few polymer clay petit fours for displaying in the bakery, but mostly it'll probably be these minis I got in my mystery bags from Temu. Gravity is ruining my display, but we can agree this is pretty cute. I am really happy with these miniature wood cutting boards. I think this one would look cute painted with a wine bottle or country motif and hung on a wall. A cheese board for the round one, and this one would look good propped up against the backsplash with a bowl of fruit sitting in front of it on a countertop. And these are literally the deal of the century because it comes with 10 of them for $3.50. The scale is also really nice because they're not too thick for 1/12 scale. The wood itself is really pretty and has nice grain variation and some knots. This type of thing takes forever to make, so I will gladly pay 35 cents each. Considering what you can get for $2, I kind of regret getting this rustic milk can, but it is nicely made. These measuring spoons come in another box I can turn into a cake box. These look so cute in their packaging, I'm reluctant to take them out. I really hope you can see how absolutely adorable these are. They are so neat and tidy and perfectly to scale. I just absolutely love these. So they're technically the equivalent of about 9 inches in real life, so they're not quite to scale, but they'd still look great in 1/12 scale or Barbie scale. This is a miniature scale for the bathroom. The weight is displayed in kilograms. It is made of plastic. Good thing it's not made of glass. This set of coffee cups cost $1.50 for 5, so that's 30 cents each. I got these for my bakery. The bottom is pretty thick, more like a dish instead of a saucer, so that's a little bit out of scale. For a quick fix, I shaved the bottom with my metal file. You can see the difference between the one I shaved on the left and the original piece on the right. Here's another bakery buy. These are also plastic, although they do look ceramic. They cost $1.75 each, but I think it's worth it because they're filled with this realistic resin that looks like tea and have a little paper tag that says Lipton. The paper tags are a little out of hand, so I'm just corralling them using some white glue. I'm using some Dollar Tree clips to hold that down while the glue dries. Mixing up this resin and printing tiny tags would be a lot of work, so I'm more than happy to pay $3.50 for these. I got these 2 filled baskets for my bakery. Here we have a faux resin wicker basket. I chose this set because I really like the quality and variety of the silverware. Here we have a little spreader of some sort, a long ice cream sundae spoon. There's a big round spoon, maybe for soup. These seem to be just standard silverware pieces. This little guy looks majorly forked up because there's some paint in between the tines. I can't help but fix things like this, and I've really been holding back, not modifying everything. Now it's looking good, although I don't know what kind of fork this is. These are available in silver, rose gold, and gold. I chose this bronze color because I figure if I want to repaint them, it's a good base color for rub and buff. Since there's a variety of pieces, you wouldn't want to buy this to set a table, but you could use them in different vignettes like a sundae cup and jam with a spreader, or just store them in the basket. This set was much cheaper at $2 and includes a basket with 1 handle. There's paper for lining the basket and this very unrealistic looking loaf, a little roll, and this third piece of bread that has a number 3 on it. I'd love to make a mold of this jar so I can copy it, and I enjoy the challenge of making cheap plastic minis look more realistic. I could not pass up this realistic miniature can of Fancy Feast. With a little encouragement, the lid comes out, so you could fill this up with some clay to make it look like some gross cat food inside of it. You could also just stack it in your cabinet or on a counter. The label is very nicely done. The image is really clear and it's not pixelated at all. And for more realism, there's a little tab top on the lid. Here's a pair of wooden, Christmas-themed laser-cut peg racks. The pegs are attached through drilled holes, which makes them less likely to break or just pop off the front. What happened with these is I found them from one seller for $2.50 and then found them for $2 from a different seller, but I forgot to remove the $2.50 set, so I ended up with 4 of them in total. This is a popular mini from Temu. They're just precious little loofahs with a small hanging cord. You could display these in a basket in your bathroom or hang them from a shower. Making up a gift basket with one of these in it would be cute too. This is another duplicate I accidentally bought when I found them cheaper from another seller, so make sure you shop around on Teemu and don't just settle for the first price you see. And remember to remove the duplicates from your cart. This is one of the most popular kitchen minis Teemu sells, and they come in a bunch of different colors. I ordered the most popular color. I bought a set of 10, but you can get 2 to 5 as well. These are sold as a 1/12 scale set of soup bowls, but they are way too big for that because they'd be 1 foot across. These would be more appropriate as a fruit bowl or a salad bowl, serving bowl type of thing. You could also go totally rogue, and instead of using it as a bowl in the kitchen, you could put it on the ceiling as a miniature light fixture. I think this would look cool as a flush mount light or as a pendant. The Gryffindor common room will need a ton of books, so I picked up this set, which is by far the cheapest I could find for 30 miniature books. This exact same set of books is available from Amazon for $8 as opposed to the $5.50 on Temu. There are 30 books in total in 8 different patterns, which is pretty cool. I'll most likely be displaying these on bookshelves, so I'm glad the spines have details as well. There are individual pages, so you could add a bookmark or glue them open, like an open book. Whenever you do that, you can glue some text or something to the surface to make it look like it's a printed book. The covers themselves are made from a thick, glossy type of paper, not cardstock. To compare, here are some other cheap mass-produced books I have with a cardstock faux leather cover. But I prefer the variety and the more interesting spines you get from the batch from Temu. Here's a fancy little metal miniature. If you look closely, you can see the resin or glue that's used to assemble it. It's a bit visible, not very much on the front, but when you turn it around, there's a big glob on the back. It's still really pretty for serving food or displaying fruit, etc. Okay, thanks to the bowls, now I'm seeing a light fixture again. Just imagine this on a miniature ceiling with little glass balls inside of it or beads. This would be a really pretty light fixture and for only $4. I've been having some nail art sticker envy from watching Little Gretchen's workshop, so I got some of my own. I tried to remove a sticker with a craft knife, and these are definitely not stickers, so what the hell did I buy? I'm cutting out this little section of writing to test my theory. I sprayed a bit of water onto a mini metal plate I got from Temu in my last haul. I'm dabbing away the extra water, and yes, these are indeed water slide decals. They're not stickers. That actually works out even better for me. Water slide decals can be a bit tricky to work with, but these are very thin but strong, so it's easy to reposition once you pull away the paper backing. Sometimes the border around these water slide decals is so big you can just see it sitting on the surface, but this one is really petite and invisible. These will stick to pretty much anything like plastic, metal, paper, wood, so I can use these in a lot of ways. All I know for sure is I will not be using them on my fingernails. Here's another really popular kit. Since Temu ships in bags, it may result in dented boxes, but I'm happy to accept the discount in the dents. This row room kit is $17 from Temu and $24 on Amazon. There is disagreement about what scale this is, but I believe it's quarter scale or 1/48 scale. The completed house is under 4 inches tall. The front of the dollhouse opens up to reveal the completed rooms on the inside, so you can see all of this through the windows. The paper pieces are very feminine and pretty. I'm not sure what this style is called, but maybe it's the cottagecore I keep hearing about. It comes with so many pieces and accessories, it's a great deal for $17. Pastels aren't really my thing, so I'll be heavily modifying this. Temu definitely ups their packing standards for their furniture. I love the spindle legs, the big chunky wheels, and the tray top. I love the door because it's charming, but I'm not really sure what you would put on this shallow shelf. I think it would be cute to add some fake glass to the door with some trash plastic and use Sharpies to make it look like stained glass. There's also a working drawer for more storage. This set is made of real glass and filled with resin to simulate milk. I got these for my bakery, but now I kind of want to make cookies for Santa. If you look really closely, there's a small crack in the glass and some type of residue on the back. Whatever that is, it's coming off pretty easily. I have noticed it's extremely easy to get a refund from Temu if you get anything that's broken. Another policy I really like is their price adjustment policy. So if you buy things on Temu and the price is reduced within 30 days, you can go right into the app and get the difference back. I am a real sucker for a set, especially if it's something I cannot easily make myself. It cost $1.50 for a set of 4, which is 38 cents each. Since there are 4 of them, you could split them up and use them for different reasons, like corralling toys or displaying things that are for sale in a little shop. The most obvious thing to do would just be using them as a laundry basket. I got this set in light yellow because white isn't available. I got another one of these wooden child toys from that same line, although this one is missing some of the black. The black is probably applied with some kind of transfer that rubbed off, but I could easily touch that up with some paint. This is such a precious pairing, I'm starting to think I need to make a miniature child's room. I've been eyeing this set of Tupperware with lids on Amazon for $7.29, so I was really excited to find it on Temu for $2.49. Oh no! Mine includes 2 of the small lid and I have none of the middle rectangle lid. Thankfully, I got a second set for only $1.79 from a different seller and all the lids are included. The lids just sit on top. It doesn't snap down like a real lid, so it's not watertight. So if you put liquid inside of this, just don't. I like this clear set because I can add color to the lids and change them up and customize them. I think it would be funny to stack these in a miniature kitchen cabinet, so if someone is snooping and opens the door, they all just topple out. I have no idea what I'll do with these, but I cannot pass these up. I got this set of 5 inflatable pool toys for $2.50. I think they could work in Barbie scale or 1/12 scale. I checked and they do float, but they cannot be reinflated if you pop one. This plastic cake display comes in several varieties. Depending on which one you buy, there are different amounts of accessories. This little plastic set comes with this stand, which is kind of cheap looking to me and pretty bulky, so I don't think I'll be using this. You're supposed to punch out this rectangle so it sits on this tab, but I think that would look pretty unrealistic and silly, so I'm not doing that. I mostly wanted the display case so I can display these cakes I got in my last Temu haul. These cakes are made of plastic and the shelves are plastic as well, so I'm using some museum wax to attach them. The shelves are easily removable, so it makes it easy to stick items to them. I just quickly tossed these cakes into this case, but you could add more details like paper tags that say what each cake is and how much it costs. The bottom looks cheap, so I'll spruce it up with some popsicle sticks or decorative paper. I don't know if any of you have this problem, but large bottles of super glue tend to harden before I can use them. These contain 2 grams of super glue and cost 22 cents a piece. They're intended for gluing on fake nails, but it is real super glue and I think it'll come in handy for crafting. Here are some mini appliances you could get for your kitchen, although I got them for my bakery. This is a nicely detailed microwave with a pretty color. You could also add a plastic plate inside for more detail. This 2-tier countertop toaster oven includes 2 trays. I noticed you need to partially close the door or the trays just fall behind the rack. I would dirty up these trays and fill the bottom with crumbs for realism. The knobs turn, which is fun for interactive play. It even has some detail on the bottom, the back, and venting on the sides. There were cheaper options for toasters available, but I got this one because I like the details and realism. It comes with 2 slices of very unrealistic looking bread and levers that move. There's a small button in the middle you can press, so I'm wondering if it makes the toast fly up. It appears that it does nothing. Still a fine addition to my bakery and for cheaper than I found it anywhere else. This would be a fun addition to a child's room or pet store. It is a plastic bag filled with resin and what looks like a double-sided acrylic fish. I got another piece of furniture for the child doll I don't have and the dollhouse I don't have set up. This is a dollhouse themed bookshelf, which is very nicely made with a bunch of wood pieces and screws. I think it looks cohesive with the other wooden minis I got. I was just thinking you could add a back and a roof to this to convert it to a dollhouse for a dollhouse. This would look really cute with chunky, child-friendly furniture inside. This little set is a very popular garden miniature that's sold on Temu. They're plastic pots filled with some flocking to look like flowers, and there's also a bit of hot glue strands or something. The white plastic is a bit translucent, so it kind of reads like milk glass. In a previous video, I painted this cheap plastic pot to look like stone. These have a great shape, so I think they'd look good with a stone painting technique like this, although I would have to remove the flocking first. Realistically, these look pretty good just the way they are, especially for 60 cents each, minus the hot glue strands, which tend to ruin photos and miniature scenes. The set includes a mail slot, door knocker, doorknob, and key. The door knocker is actually functional, which is pretty cool. It's on a little hinge, so it opens. The quality is great, but the gold color is very cheap looking. Super bright gold is a dead giveaway for cheap miniatures, so I'm using some antique gold rub and buff to change the tone. That took less than a minute, and these look so elevated and much more expensive. I really enjoy doing simple things like this to make inexpensive minis look a lot better for little effort. This nicely made wooden wall cabinet has some drawers and nice detail on the side. I may add a rod between the bottom pieces or perhaps some pegs. I really appreciate that the knobs on the drawers are nicely centered. The drawers function and are deep enough to store items inside. The wood is unfinished, so it needs to be sanded, especially some of the glue residue you might find that would repel the stain. I've seen this for up to $20 from other sellers, so this is another great deal. I got this hand-painted ceramic kettle because I think it's really charming and cute. I only found one of these listed elsewhere, and it was on Etsy for $9. The inside of the lid is rounded, so it doesn't sit nicely on the top, so I'll probably secure that with museum wax. Just for a tiny bit of added detail and realism, I'm adding a black dot to the end of the spout so it looks like there's a hole there instead of a solid spout. I can remove it with rubbing alcohol if I don't like the effect. I really love the details, and I think this would look adorable sitting on a table or shelf. This is a drink dispenser with a stand. The legs are protected with a piece of foam, which is appreciated. This set includes the stand, drink dispenser, and a little cup. This thing does not move. The cap comes off. Wow. I was not expecting that, but the oranges are very squishy inside, like silicone. I'm doing this whenever I need stress relief. The pictures clearly depict it, so I'm not sure why, but I expected the oranges would be clay slices like this. The oranges could stand to be a bit more realistic, but I do enjoy the color of the resin and all of the fake ice inside of it. This would be a very maddening and tedious thing to make by hand, so I think it's a great buy. I bought this wood folding table to use in my bakery, but it's about 1 inch too short to be used as a table, so I should have paid more attention to the measurements listed. I'm wondering if it would work with this plastic set of faux wicker outdoor furniture. Oh, looks like we lost a leg. Many vendors describe miniatures as 1/12 scale, but I could tell by the dimensions this is half scale. Finding half scale furniture for a reasonable price can be really tricky, so I think these are a great buy. I'd make a simple no-sew cushion and some pillows. This would be a great place to display some items. As for the wooden table, it could be an accent table in 1/12 scale. It also works as a dining table in half scale. My nail bottles of super glue are already coming in handy to repair this leg. If I just use the cap as intended, the super glue can still dry out inside of the tube, so I'm dipping the end into some baking soda to form this hard shell. The next time I go to use this, I can just pop the hard cap off of the end and it'll be good as new. This is a 5-piece set that includes 4 mugs and a miniature stand. It does come in other colors, including white, so I don't know what I was thinking buying this crazy green color. The bottoms of the mugs seem a bit rough, but it's nothing too crazy because it would be sitting on a table. This set cost $12 on Amazon. This next set costs $5 from Amazon. It is a glass coffee pot with a lid and 2 cups and saucers. The saucers are fine, but the cups are extremely tiny and don't have a handle. If you compare it to one of the filled mugs from earlier, you see the size difference, which is pretty enormous. These are more like half scale. I still think this is a great buy because I really love this filled glass coffee pot with lid, and these bonus pieces I can maybe find a use for. This is another piece I picked up, which is described as 1/12 scale, but the dimensions listed show it's 1/24 scale. This plastic set would look a lot more realistic with an upholstered bench and some painting. There's a cover for the keys and some kind of handle here. I was yanking away trying to open this, and then I realized it's just a little shelf to put sheet music. The little pedals move, so all in all for $3, I think this is a really cute buy. This costs $9 from Amazon. These are too big for 1/12 scale, but they're so cute I just had to have them. Feast your eyes on these teeny tiny gummy bears made of plastic. These would look insanely adorable in a glass jar in a candy shop. You can find these for cheaper and larger quantities when they're sold as nail charms versus when they're marketed as dollhouse miniatures. I am super excited about purchasing my first ever booknook. This sells for $40 on Amazon. I don't know if booknooks are still cool or if the trend has passed, but I still like them. There's a whole lot less stuff in here than I usually find, just one LED kit in this little bag. This bag contains a single cage or lantern and one other accessory. This is a whole lot of heavy wooden pieces to make this book nook. It includes a single page of printed book covers and posters from Harry Potter, Dumbledore, Daft or Dangerous, The Boy Who Lived, Flying Ford Anglia Mystifies Muggles. The inside is very colorful and full, so I'm a little thrown off since there are hardly any accessories. Now I get it. So this kit includes mostly laser cut pre-printed pieces, so this is essentially a 2D interior. Assembling this kit is probably more like assembling a Lego kit or making a puzzle rather than crafting like if you bought a Row Life kit. I was confused because I was initially looking at the unprinted back, but the fronts are all colorful. This book nook doesn't seem to leave a lot of room for customizations, which is what I usually do, so maybe for once I will assemble this as instructed. Realistically, I know that's not going to happen because I can't help myself, but maybe all I'll do is alter the outside. I could at least add some shingles and siding to make it look like a building. I picked up this set of minuscule dried flowers for gluing to the surface of things rather than for trying to make arrangements out of them. I could add some inside a glob of UV resin to make it an extremely tiny paperweight. Of all the options, I'd say the white ones and the yellow ones are my favorites. I chose this piece to use in the Gryffindor common room. It doesn't open. I think it's made from a block of wood covered in faux leather. I think it's a really great starting piece for adding additional details to, and the straps come off if you want to just steal those and use them as a belt instead. Little Gretchen's Workshop has an entire series where she made bags and luggage from scratch, so I'll rewatch those to get ideas for customizing this. When I picked out this next item, I envisioned it in my miniature bakery. It's a metal kitchen scale with a metal bowl. I really appreciate how nicely printed the label is and how centered it is. So far I haven't gotten anything with crooked labels. I'll probably repaint the blue and add something to the bowl so it looks like it's weighing flour, like maybe baking soda or cornstarch. If you'd like lots of pieces for cheap, search for 3D nail charms to use as miniatures. These are acrylic lollipops. I got 20 pieces for $1, but Temu also sells 50 pieces for $2. I usually don't even paint my nails and keep them really short, so I have no idea how people function with things like this on their fingernails. This purchase is more of a testament of not shopping for 2 hours until 1 a.m. rather than a good buy on my part, since these toys are intended for children and they're not in the scale I work in. But objectively speaking, this is a really great deal for $2.80 considering it sold for $9 on Amazon. I couldn't find this from any other seller, so I just had to pick it up. This teapot and cup set is made of metal. I really like the modern Scandinavian aesthetic and the taupe and green color combo. This is quintessential coffee shop, so I was excited when I found this for my bakery. There are plastic beads in the top of the coffee machine to look like coffee beans and space to add a cup down below. The set includes this wall-mounted cup dispenser. I may or may not use the stickers included for the cups because I may want to make my own labels. Only one of the cups includes a lid since the other 4 are in the dispenser. I am pretty crazy about this little phone. The receiver can be picked up and the cord is stretchy. The entire phone is made of metal, so it's great quality. The only thing that's throwing me off is the super cheap shiny gold metal. I'll paint this with Rub and Buff off camera, but I do spray everything I paint with rubbing alcohol first. It removes any oil from your fingers or mold release from production to help the paint stick. Here is the before with the shiny metal, and here is the after with the antique gold Rub and Buff. This phone was such a great buy for a miniature boutique I'm planning to make, especially since it costs upwards of $25 from other sellers. This is a laser cut wooden miniature marketed as a wall basket, although it can sit flat on a surface. This seems like a pretty versatile piece to me that would work in a traditional space or modern space. I don't have any miniature flowers on hand, but just shoving some forest moss into the basket I think is a pretty cute aesthetic. This is a miniature I'd probably use in a kitchen filled with a cookbook in a jar, or on a desk with some books and newspaper like this. Speaking of desks, I also picked up this miniature calculator, which is made of metal. This sticker has real numbers and writing on it. I think it pairs really nicely with this basket, and the calculator costs $4 and up from other sellers. This is a pair of glasses I got from Teemu for 38 cents, which I've never shown you before. The arms are curved so they can fit over ears, and the metal itself is flexible, so I think these actually would be wearable for a doll. The lenses are filled with resin to mimic glass. For only $5, I can create this vignette for a Dollhouse miniature desk. Nail Decor makes great miniatures, but also check out the beads. In a previous video, I paired these with earring backs to make miniature faucet handles. I bought some more so I don't run out. I appreciate Temu's low prices for their miniatures, which makes this hobby accessible to more people. The photos are very accurate, but the title may describe something as 1/12 when it's either too big or too small, so make sure you pay attention to the dimensions, which are always listed. Watch this video next, where I spent $200 of my own money buying miniature kits and accessories.